the history as the source of justice and is dealing with it as the source of justice is intrinsically liberal and capitalist. It's a commitment to actually restoring to people private rights to property that they feel and may well be right have been unjustly taken from them. It's not as if the labor power of your great-great-great-great-grandparents wasn't stolen from you in slavery, and whatever you would have inherited from that wasn't stolen from you by slavery. It's not even as if the labor power of your great-great-grandfather whose union was busted wasn't stolen from him by busting the union.
John, slavery compared to union busting. Welcome.
What? Why you want to bring me back? Yo, first of all, like, all right, let's stop.
Because I wasn't cussing enough, so I need you to come in and cuss some more.
Well, first of all, I guess I would have to say fuck this dude. This dude right here. First of all, like, let's keep it real, man. He look like Steven Spielberg.
I said that.
He look like a poor ass version of. I'm not saying I don't shame the poor people. He like a poor Steven Spielberg. Let's get that.
Who hates niggas?
For real, really.
And the barber.
He literally just fucking compared.
I like regular Steven Spielberg.
Hey, yo, why the fuck? This what y'all got me. You know what? That's why. See that? That's why I fall back. This is why. Because I'm trying to stay away from this. I don't want to get worked up dealing with this shit. This shit is crazy, man. That's why Mud got his mic on mute, because Mud in the back. You know what? You know what? So this guy right here, man. This guy. Oh Jesus Christ! He just literally just compared. He literally just said that he kind of just broke down like how wealth was stolen and extracted from our ancestors through slavery, and he was fake trying to compare it to like how it's similar to the quote unquote labor struggle.
Like we wasn't trying to be a part of those unions, John. And like black people wasn't working. Black people didn't work after slavery all the way until 1970. You didn't know.
No, they did. And the crazy part is like he's trying to treat us like we were the poor white people on the plantation working next to the slaves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like he's trying to make it seem like, well, if they had a union, basically if they were unionized, first of all, we was property, motherfucker. And first of all, it was a racist institutions that we were literally property. There is no comparison to somebody being oppressed under a certain economic system to you being property in that system, whether it be any type of system. So like it is a way to make white people feel better, to fight for the union and put the race shit to the side, and other black people that want to deal with race and other people of color that want to deal with, you know, it's that way. So, you know, it's basic Jacobin shit. This is classic Jacob. Thank you, Sam. You know what? You know what, Sam? No, I'm gonna be quiet. Man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, go ahead and open up that bottle. I feel you. You know, I'm right on point. Cause
why you say that? You know what?
You missed how I started the show. I said Jacobin should be called the We Hate Niggers channel, because that's low key what it is. That's just not how they put it, but it is what it is.
It is. That's fucked up.
And they got a Vietnamese refugee descendant leading the charge against niggas. Ain't that people of color coalition y'all love so much? Don't y'all come at me in the comments. It's okay. And I'm not talking about Kim Iverson. No, it's not Kim Iverson. It's the other one. It's the
no, not her. The Asian one, the one that's the head of the.
She's Vietnamese too, though, right? Or am I mixing her up with Kim Iverson?
No. I think she might be Chinese or Korean or something like that. But she definitely.
I don't know what she is. Sorry, then maybe I'm wrong. But either way, she can't be more than second generation, and she hates us. So,
So I'm out.
Yeah. But I'm not even gonna let Mud edit this one because he's gonna edit it out.
And we like, cutting that shit out. He let you ride. He let you ride. He like, cutting that out.
Mud be over there like Edward Scissorhands.
Mud the RZA. I ain't gonna lie. And this Wu-Tang Clan, Mud the RZA. Like he the RZA and the Jizza. Like he the mind and the That's all I got to
okay,
say.
we got anything else on this? Because John pretty much said what I had to say. Like, you know, how dare you compare this thing? Like, again, when was the genocide of workers? I'm not talking about the few scuffles where hundreds of people die. When did we kill millions of workers in this country?
Well, and the other thing is, okay, so you want to compare, you want to imagine that workers are just white people and then black folks, we're just not going to talk about that. Okay, let's just stick with that for a minute so that the slow-witted who think that's how it is think that way. So white people who chose to come to the Americas, murder everybody who was here, and then enslave some other people to come and make them do work for them, later have labor conditions that are not optimal for them. And so you're saying those folks, we should feel bad for these folks who voluntarily came to this country, committed genocide to start committing additional waves of genocide, and people who were a part of that sea of blood by not by choice are in the same situation. So essentially the victims of that violence are in the same exact situation as the people who perpetrated it. Identical. And you see that as identical, right? This is helpful because it shows you what no history means. So what no history means is now I have two dimensions. They're cartoons. And because black folks are slaves over here, my cartoon gets to make workers white folks. So I don't even have to say that black folks are lazy. I just created this thing and you can fill in the blanks yourself. You can have your racist tropes inserted inside of it. So it's not just about no history. It's about not having a third or a fourth dimension. This is about cartoon history.
Whew, alrighty, y'all. What you got, Mud?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's also when, like you were saying, Sam, we were workers too. We were part of unions, and we were also excluded from unions. I mean, a lot of those race riots that happened were basically because black people showed up to work jobs when unions were on strikes, and they decided they were just going to burn down our whole goddamn town. So
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or pretend somebody raped a white woman.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, Gabriel's right. Like this is what you can do when you're not taking history into account. You can just create, and it's funny because he was the first. Like at first they were complaining about like this unnuanced understanding of what happened with the New Deal, but then like they get to like look at the totality of American history in this like undetailed way and just say fuck it. None of it really matters. Let's just start fresh. I don't know. It's craziness.
Yo,
Well put.
if you murder someone in your living room and you hide the body under a carpet, it's not gonna go away. You can clean around that carpet as much as you like. There's still gonna be a body under there. There's still gonna be a smell forever. Until you deal with it. Until you deal with that body under your carpet, you're gonna have that smell.
What if I have that Arm & Hammer sprinkle stuff? Well, am I good then?
No,
it's not gonna work.
You need the shit from American Horror Story. What was the one with
Lime?
No. Yeah. It was the Colt. Because that's my one. That's the one. American Horror Story Colt, when he kept sprinkling the shit on his family and he would close the door up where he killed his family and left them locked up in the room. Well, his family killed each other and then he just fucking sprinkled the body so he could get in their checks and shit.
So this is good. So Sam probably, I think Sam's describing the psychological state of fake Steven Spielberg, which is if what we did wrong, if we wait long enough, it'll rot and disappear. So we'll just create distractions and pour some light.
This has always been the gameplay, right? And this is my frustration, right? Y'all have been doing this since the end of slavery. We are not letting this go. And we're just getting angrier and madder and madder. And I'm probably gonna like I have nothing. For you, I leave nothing. Like I got nothing for you at this point. Like I got nothing. I'm keeping back so much of what I really want to say because, you know, since January 6th, you know, like I don't care if they kill me. I just don't want to be in a hole. Like I'll keep
First
it
of
a
all, you're
buck.
getting graphic, man. You get too graphic. No, Sam. Ain't nobody put
I'm just
nah.
keeping it honest. I'm just
But
keeping it honest. I'd rather you kill me than put
but
me in a
yo,
hole.
but check this out though. This is what they do though. Like the thing about it is that they like to bring it back to this whole time in history. Basically, they try to bring it back to the time where we were enslaved and capitalism, where white people were being super exploited though. But this is the thing though, right? This is the thing. Even though this kind of form of capitalism back then was like it was very harsh form of capitalism. We definitely was the glue to hold it together. These poor white people, if they had enough money, you could buy a nigga. A nigga could
Yes.
not buy you. So it's
My black ass mama is 36% Irish. We ain't got no white family members.
so that's the thing though. That's the thing that they keep talking about. Like we've been exploited and blah 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 and blah. You were not chattel slaves, like you know what I mean. You were being exploited by this certain system of capitalism, which keeps us on the bottom and keep us fight. But at the end of the day, there is a racial component that you want to ignore because just because you're poor white family, yes, they were suffering. But the thing about it, if you had enough money, if you was a poor white, you could rent a slave. There were a lot of poor white people
And
renting
they did.
slaves, niggas. They was renting slaves. There are a lot of poor white families, quote unquote middle class white family that had one slave.
Or
I don't know. Somebody getting exploited by capital by the white, his bosses, but he still had enough money to go rent him a Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody is not talking about this shit. Like, so what the fuck are you talking about? And then when we got free, we already know the other shit that. So it's I ain't gonna lie, baby Steven Spielberg need to make Indiana Jones 6 and stop talking about Negroes. That's all I got to say. This is some bullshit. Stop it. You need to stop.
anybody got anything else? Because I need some libation. So y'all gotta bear with me for a second.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
My hope is hard because there's all this garbage on, but at the same time, search engines are a wonderful thing. So, if we put, I guess we're calling him Baby Steven Spielberg now, which I love. If we put Baby Steven Spielberg's name in the comments, as well as these other folks, then if people look at that and they're like, for some reason, that seems like a weird conversation I just saw, and they Google some stuff, they'll end up here. And then, clarity. And I hold out hope for that because I think in the end, lies are lies, and like talking dumb is talking dumb. And no matter what your position is, you just can only watch that garbage for so long before you're like, I don't know. I've been eating like that dude who ate like McDonald's for like a month and almost died.
Super size
You're like, I've been in DSA for 6 months now, and I feel really sick. Like you just will have a sense that you're not getting the proper political nourishment you need.
That's true.
I don't know if that's kind of a pie in the sky hope, but I do think there are more and more people.
To be honest, you got to have some type of hope, right? Because if we didn't have hope, we wouldn't do this. Like as much as a fatalist as I am, there's no way I could do this if I didn't have some hope. It may be a little bit, but it's something that I hold on to.
We got to.
But maybe I just want to be able to look at my kids and tell them that I tried.
That's what I'm saying, and you just don't know until the end. I mean, you look at the history and read the letters and all that stuff, like on the verge of emancipation, how dead set people were against it. And I think of reparations, and I'm like, I don't know that it's that much different of a time we live in. I think that people still have. So either. Yeah, it's like it's really just the second wave, or some would say like the fourth or fifth. But to me, it's like, okay, you free people, now give back what you took from them. I mean, to me, it's kind of real simple in that sense. But in any event,
it makes me think of the Japanese internment camp video that Mud just did, and it's like we're in the same kind of moment because we're hearing like they gave them the same arguments. It's also similar, so I feel like the reason why we're getting so much pushback now is because we're making a dent. Because if you think about it, the only thing that people have organized around in the past year was after George Floyd, and that was around Black issues. That was around Black justice.
Right. Yeah, I think that
wasn't a class march.
Nope. class issues in America no one cares about that, honestly. I mean, it's,
You know why?
who cares
Because in
about it?
America, nobody understands class.
Right.
There's a
What-
okay. So I was literally watching a video talking about these projects in Watts, which now have been torn down, and this family should have been moved into the new ones because I know where they are. But she was basically like, "Oh, we're not poor," but she like was living in the projects for 30 years and like barely has enough money to do anything. But she was like, "Well, we have a roof over their head," and John shaking his head because he knows. So like people in America don't understand class. Like people who are poor think they're middle class. So
Right.
having class discussions doesn't work. Like,
Right.
you know, people think that they're like have like I used to talk about eating the rich all the time in my philosophy class, and this Republican 18-year-old white girl would be like, well, I was like, listen, I don't want to eat your dad. Like, I understand he has like a small business and like you work for him. Like, your dad is not my problem. I'm talking about fucking Jeff Bezos. Like, you know what I mean? Like your dad's little under 200,000 or under $300,000 a year is not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about eat the rich.
Right.
Like, but she
You
would
heard
just be
her.
like, oh, it's like, you know, oh my gosh, she couldn't take it. Why does it always have to be a race? Man, when shit hit the fan after COVID, I know she was looking around like that black bitch was right. Because I told her, I was like, if shit don't change, you gonna see some shit. I was like, oh, because oh my god, because she was trying to be my friend, and I had to tell her like, listen, I've known white people my whole life. You're like an 18-year-old white girl. You're gonna want to be my friend for the duration of this class, and after that, you won't want to be my friend anymore. Like I don't have the mental, I don't have the emotional. What's the word I want to use? I don't have the interest in wasting the emotional energy on you because I know that you're not a person that's gonna stay in my life because I've known white women like you my whole life. Age, like. One of my philosophy teachers had to let me know, like, you know, Sam, you gotta stop beating up on the kids. Like, you gotta remember, you know a lot more than them. Because I was in there ripping heads off, especially because the class was like 90% Hispanic, and they thought racism was over. And I was like, that's because y'all live in LA. Y'all better never leave LA. Because when y'all get in the real world, where y'all not the majority, you're gonna see what time it is. All right, let's get back to the play.
And therefore should have been inherited by you. All that's true. All that's liberal private property. None of that has anything to do with socialism. Socialism does not rest on how you got ripped off. Socialism rests on an idea of the public good that has nothing to do with restoring to you rights that have been deprived from you in the past or even in the recent present.
Can we stop? I'm
I
sorry.
agree completely with Walter on that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
that,
Go ahead.
I know that's not a lot of it, but
This is what we do. Go ahead.
all right. Listen.
Adolf Reed is here. I can see this Adolf Reed pop. This make no what? My bad. Go ahead, please. Oh no. All right.
John needs a minute. I feel like I could just jump in on
go
anything.
ahead.
Right? You saw the pullback to the whole.
Yeah, I seen the Black Steven Seagal ponytail. I seen the Crypt Keeper with the blue T-shirt on. I got PTSD when I see this motherfucker. TV that gave me PTSD about Adolf Reed, and then doing it. I got PTSD. My bad, Gabe. Go ahead, Gabe. I mean cut you off.
Do you have an 800 number for John right now? For his
man, I know, right?
Some bullshit.
Go ahead, Gabriel. Go ahead.
That's why I can't. This is like I'm gonna put a timer on my phone for the next segment, and I'll be quiet for like a minute because he says a sentence and I'm at it.
Go ahead. No, this is what we do.
Anyway,
go ahead, bro.
So I said at the very beginning of this that I'm a social democrat in terms of my political orientation. What that means is, if America, I can't be that. I don't have the luxury of actually living that political framework because America won't act right. If it did, I believe in being a social democrat is not being a democratic socialist. It's not being an American kind of Euro socialist, whatever people talk about. It's about, socialism is like, we need to make sure everyone's okay. How are we going to do that? Oh, the government needs to start a company. Fine, we're going to do that. Oh, wait, the utilities are trying to take money from people. We're going to take the utilities over and we're going to stop that. It's like a real pragmatic approach to things.
We're gonna nationalize Amazon.
Right. We're gonna make Facebook a public utility like Ma Bell. Like you just solve problems. It's real pragmatic. When baby Steven Spielberg says, like, oh, talking about wages and stuff like that, that's not what, stolen wages or whatever. That's not socialism. That's the biggest lie that's ever been told so far. He's told several lies. Maybe there's no such thing as history as the biggest one. Number two is that socialism doesn't care about your individual resources. That's all socialism is about. Socialism doesn't care about government having resources. It doesn't care about companies having resources. All of that is in the service of the individual. This man is a liar and he's a bad liar. And I think his glasses, I think they're like those $5 glasses you get. You get the prescriptions at Costco and then you get the glasses. So that's why he's mad.
Hey yo, leave baby Spielberg alone. He don't know what's going on, man. I don't even know he know where he at. He just got bookshelves in the back. He don't know what's going on, man. Like it's obvious. Nigga's crazy. Like
he wrote Me-Tee and no one liked it because it was right after E.T. He was like, it's the same idea, but it's Me-Tee, and they were like, that's dumb. So he's been ruined.
Let's start a GoFundMe for him so he can make motherfucking so he can make.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Now I want him to make I'ma Style Part 3, but the niggas like real shit. Like you need to make I'ma Style Part 3, and that's what he want to do. So all right, never mind. I'm just talking shit. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, I mean we could get it started. I'll start that GoFundMe now. Can we do a screen share? Sam, can we start that GoFundMe now? Is that okay?
For him, I'ma Style Part 3. If he doesn't talk about black politics no more, he can make I'ma Style Part 3, where there's going to be a bunch of Nigerians on the boat, and it's going to be like a Nigerian rapper that started hip hop, some shit like that, some shit like swear shit.
And the Asian chick can be like the benevolent slave catcher, falls in love with the slave, but then decides to accuse him of rape, so she doesn't end up.
That sounds about right.
It's a good movie.
What? That sounds like
a fight scene with Adolph Reed.
It's gonna close the box office.
Can I get a fight scene with Adolph Reed?
Adolph Reed. Hey yo, Joey, what the fuck?
We can fight over the last butter biscuit. I don't care.
Butter your biscuit.
Triggered. Here he is, John. I'm real sorry.
Oh
we should have told you ahead of time.
It's the Crypt Keeper.